What is up, everybody? Welcome into this week's episode of It's Called Football on the Vendetta Sports Media YouTube channel. Per usual, Jerry Walker and Jackson Fyda alongside me here today. As it is Thursday, April 10th, doing this in the afternoon, so we won't be talking any Europa League. We will talk on some Champions League that happened the last 2 days involving two English Premier League teams. One of them really good, one of them kind of what we expect and not too great, but a couple of Europa League games going on. I may give updates as it goes on. Otherwise, same sort of usual planning. We'll talk about some matches from last week's Premier League. We'll talk about a couple this weekend because as Jackson and I were looking at it before we started the show, it's rough. It's rough sailing. This is the first time we've really had a hard time picking this is going to be our match of the week, and we might touch on this one, but we have a couple. We'll get through it. Some other teams that we don't necessarily always talk about, so that's fun. But Jackson, how are you doing this Thursday afternoon?
I'm great. I'm actually the happiest I've been in a long time.
Hell yeah.
What just happened a couple days ago. So I'm over the moon still. I know there's still another leg to go, but I'm in such good spirits.
Oh yeah, world can't bring you and the rest of the Arsenal fans down at the moment. But before we do that, we're going to touch on some Premier League action, and we're going to get this one out of the way. Our match of the week from last week, the Manchester Derby, Man United hosting Man City. And I don't even know if there's a game going on. I think that's the easiest way to put it. That was abysmal.
Poor. Everyone who watched it all agreed that they just wasted 180 minutes of their lives.
Yep.
So I don't know why just 180 minutes, 90 minutes of their lives. You know what I mean. You know what I'm saying.
Well, it felt like 180 minutes as the game went on. But it was so bad. I mean, there were 7 total shots on target, which you think, okay, 7 shots on target, not bad. None of them were good. It was 30-yard shots that kind of bounced, and the goalkeeper just picks it up or just touches it, and this was bad. And this is kind of, I don't know if we exactly predicted it. I thought this was going to be a sloppy game, kind of a little shittier, but this was worse than I even could have imagined.
I mean, yeah, it was about as bad as it gets from a neutral perspective. Friggin' terrible. Just no excitement.
No, not at all. And there's a reason. And in a derby game like this, you expect at least one team to be like, okay, we're up for it. Let's go. We got to get something done here. No creativity. I don't even think Man U fans were happy that they got a point. Man City fans on Twitter at least seem pretty what the hell are we doing? But they've conceded this season anyway, so I don't even know what else to say about this one.
It's just boring. I mean, there's really no way around it. It was just not a fun game to watch. I mean, from a Man U perspective, it's actually not bad. 0-0 draw. Season's been awful. Get a 0-0 draw with your arch nemesis who is better than you. It's had a much better season. It's really not that bad, but when you look at how bad the game was in terms of quality, in terms of excitement, it was rough. It was a rough watch. It's not one that anyone's ever going to want to think about ever again because it was just that not exciting. It was that boring.
No, it really was. This is the first 0-0 draw between these two since December of 2020.
Yeah.
And I mean, a fair play to Man U. They've now gone unbeaten in 4 straight against Man City after having lost 3 in a row. So fair play to them.
Yeah.
They're not completely dominated on anymore, but this was just bad.
It was bad. There's just nothing else to say except bad. Move on. Forget about it, especially from a City perspective, man, because that 0-0 against a team that's been struggling that much where you just show zero bite going forward, that's tough.
It really is. It's also tough for the league leaders this weekend. And this one I think was more of a shock. Fulham hosting Liverpool. Liverpool go 1-0 up. Alexis McAllister, 14 minutes in. Then it's the Fulham show the rest of the first half. Segerson gets a goal in the 23rd. Iwobi in the 32nd. Mooney's in the 37th. You go into the half 3-1 up. What were your thoughts at halftime when it was already 3-1?
Wow. I mean, I don't think there's any other way to say it. Wow. And this is Fulham. This is 4 points this year against Liverpool.
Which is impressive.
Should be 6 because they had that first game as well. Yeah. But they they showed up. I just didn't expect it, especially when you go down 1-0 when McAllister scored in the 14th minute. You think, all right, Liverpool's going to do their thing. They're going to carry on. No. See, Sessegnon, Iwobi, Muniz, all within a 15-minute span to go up 3-1 at halftime. I mean, that's insane. Especially considering going into this game, we're all so confident that Liverpool's got it, right? Because no more Champions League. This is basically it. Finish it off, win the league as quickly as possible, celebrate, get the champagne, yay, move on, right?
Mm-hmm.
Did not see this coming at all. Fair play to Fulham. We talked about it on this show, Fulham's a good team. They've had very good results against very good teams this year. But it kind of felt like at home they'd struggled with that, right? Struggled with some performances at home.
You look at it recently, they lost to Crystal Palace at home twice. Once in the Cup, once in the league. Lost to Man U at home. They drew with Ipswich, drew with Bournemouth. It's one that they even drew with Southampton.
Yeah.
Won this season. And regardless, that was a little back in December, but still, they've been winning. Then they go and they win away at Man U. It was penalties. It was a cup. They win away at Wolves. Win it. I guess their last big win at home was Fulham or Forest. They win at Newcastle. They've won at Chelsea. Drew it from Liverpool. Drew at Tottenham. It's like they're getting results on the road, but it just seems like at home they've been struggling, especially as of late. This was a massive one. Because we talk about 3-1 at the first half. Luis Diaz does get one back in the 72nd minute, but from there on, there's nothing they could really get done. And Liverpool and Arsenal, God, I don't know why Arsenal. Fulham managed
to man. I said 180 minutes. You're all good.
Yeah, Bernd Leno stood on his head a bit because Liverpool finished with the same amount of shots on target, six shots on target, 2, Fulham 6, but they're expected more goals. The expected goal difference was 1.11 for Liverpool and only 0.75 for Fulham. So that tells me that there were some mistakes in the Liverpool defense, which there were. There was also some good shots that were just like 9 times out of 10 that doesn't go in, or maybe 8 times out of 10. So fair play to Fulham, get the result, and on they go, I guess.
Yeah, on they go, and they're still in it. They really are for a European spot. We'll touch on this here in a bit, I think, but they're still right in it, and they've had a sneaky good season. Like when we talk about these teams who've had these good seasons, right? Obviously, the big ones and then Forest are what come to mind. But Fulham, for who they are as a club, who they've got as players, has had a very impressive season. Surpassed my expectations for sure. So.
Oh, yeah. This has been a season of just surprises. Like Fulham, I'm not surprised they're in 8th place, but I'm surprised that they're in 8th place and looking at Europe. Bournemouth, same way. Forest, obviously, we've talked time and time again about how they've been a spectacle this year. And they're surprised at the other end. Tottenham, Man U, West Ham, as shit as they've all been.
Yeah.
But this has been one of the more fun Premier League seasons we've had in a while. And as far as Liverpool goes in this, I don't think they're going to lose sleep over a 3-2 loss to Fulham.
They're okay. They're first of all, Arsenal drop points. They're still ahead by 11 with 7 games to go.
Oh, yeah.
They're comfortable.
They should be perfectly fine.
Yeah, they're comfortable.
A team that did slip up as well this week, and they look like I don't think the pressure is getting to them, but Nottingham Forest is suddenly only 5 points out of not being in the Champions League. So likely, but they're 5 points clear of Man City, who's in that 6th place spot, as the Premier League has officially gotten 5 places in the Champions League for next season. But this is what we talked about. They went to Aston Villa, and we were both like, okay, I see it going both ways. Is Villa going to be looking ahead to their Champions League match this week? Are they going to be, is Forest going to be kind of, we're looking at the FA Cup that's coming up? What all these other matches surrounding it, and ultimately it was Villa who came out flying. Morgan Rogers again gets them on the board, and then Daniel Malin 2 minutes later. So within 15 minutes, it's 2-0 Aston Villa, and this one looked to be getting out of hand. Forrest did a good job slowing it down, controlling a bit more of the tempo in the next 45 minutes. Ultimately, Jota Silva got a goal to bring it back to with 1, and then they just couldn't get anything else. Emiliano Martinez did what he had to do. The defense did what they've had to do and what they've done so well all season. But what was your kind of reaction to this one?
very happy because I called this and the scoreline. So very proud of myself for that. But I mean, Villa just came to play, and we didn't know what they're going to look like because of the game that they had yesterday in Champions League. Who were they going to play? What lineup were they going to have? How much effort and energy were they going to have heading into the game? Now, it is worth pointing out that the team that played against Forest was a very different team than the one that played the other day against PSG. I think they made 8 changes from the weekend to that game. So they did rotate the squad, but even while doing that, they still won 2-1. So that's a great sign right there. And it kind of goes to highlight the depth that Villa has and that they obtained during the January transfer window, where Asensio, Malin, Rogers, and Watkins are playing. And then you look at who they played yesterday in the Champions League. Asensio didn't even start in his return to Paris, right?
Which that surprised me, but we'll get into that in a second. So
No, it surprised me as well, but highlights just the depth that they have and the confidence that they have. So, I mean, this was a great result because with everything else surrounding, that game this week with the Champions League coming up, they did a great job of getting all 3 points against a team that's in third place because Villa is still fighting for stuff as well. 7th place, they're only 2 points out of 5th and 2 points out of 4th, so they're right there as well because based on how this Champions League result went against PSG, they're going to need a big second leg. We'll see if it happens. I'm not counting it out, but they can still qualify for Champions League next year through the league. So the fact that they were able to do this, that's huge, right?
And the thing is, they also still have to play Newcastle. They still play Man City, the 2 teams directly in front of them. So it's one of those ones that they win a couple games and suddenly Villa's back in the Champions League spot for next season. They're still in it this year, though it's not looking pretty. But this has been an impressive season for them as well, once again. And this is just a match that kind of amplifies what they've been able to do against good teams this year.
Yeah. And from a Forest perspective,
this is going to be my question. Do you think they're feeling the pressure a bit?
I mean, yeah, I think so. But I think they've been feeling the pressure. If I'm them, I'm not going to overreact to this.
Yeah.
Went and played Villa at Villa Park. Incredibly tough place to play. And it's a very good team, and you lost 2-1. In a game that, I mean, we can gloss over the stats real quickly. I know Villa may have a little bit more possession, but let's be real. This was a very even game. Possession was basically the same. I think it was like 53-47 to Villa. Shots was about the same. The only difference is Villa was more clinical. They had more shots on target, and they ultimately scored 1 more goal. I think that's the difference. But you're also missing Chris Wood. You're missing your goal-scoring talisman up top. So I wouldn't freak out over this. Still plenty of season to go. You're still in a great position, and they have a very favorable league schedule coming ahead. So if I'm them, I'm not freaking out at all. It's a tough game. Played a good team that played well. They got 2 early goals and were able to do their thing after that. Happens. Move on to the next one. Keep chugging along. They'll be okay.
Yeah, and I mean, you're the first team to score against Aston Villa since March 4th.
Mm-hmm.
That's going to mean something. And that just goes to show, you were talking about the shots and how they were pretty equal. As you said, Aston Villa had 8 on target. Forest had 3 on target, but they had 14 off target. So what that tells me is the Tyrone Mings, Diassi's, the defensive midfielders of Onana and Tillemans, Garcia on the outside, they were forcing bad shots.
They were
applying pressure on Alanga, Hudson-Odoi, Gibbs-White all going forward, and just forced them to have bad shots. And the ones that were on target, at least 2 of them, Martinez just does what he does best and just parries them away.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Moving on to the Champions League now. And I just have a feeling you're excited about that. So I'll let you I'll just let you take it over for a second.
What a time to be alive. That's all I got to say. What a time to be alive. I saw so many people talking shit before the game about Marino starting up top. And what a joke of a club we are. 3-0 with Marino scoring as well. Declan Rice better than David Beckham. End of discussion. All I got to say. Real talk, though, that was the most fun I've had as an Arsenal fan in a long time. Because it wasn't just like 3 fluky goals. We were on their ass from start to finish. Should have scored in the first half. Saliba cleared one off the line that we were going to score. So that sucked. Maybe could have had a penalty as well. And then second half, flying. Those free kicks were insane. Now, I know we can talk about the wall on the first one. I don't care. It was where it was, and he bent that thing perfectly with Roberto Carlos in the stands. And then to do it again a few minutes later, do you see where the ball was in relation to the corner? Literally perfect.
If it goes half an inch to the right or up, that's hitting a post. Might be post or barring in, but it doesn't get much more perfect than that. And with a goalkeeper in Courtois, who is we've seen time and time again make these incredible leaping, diving saves using the length he has just to swat the ball out of midair. And the way Declan Rice put not just one but two by him was incredible.
Yeah, I don't know if he could do that again. 2 free kicks, amazing, back to back against, I mean, arguably still the best goalkeeper in the world, but definitely for sure one of the best of the past generation to do that. Wild. And then the Marino finish was also perfect.
That one I didn't see. I saw the 2 Declan Rice ones.
Yeah, no, Lewis Skelly played it across to him. It was a little behind him. You expect someone to take a touch. Nah, one time, bends it, bottom left corner. Courtois, no shot. Beautiful, beautiful. We could have had more than 3, by the way. Courtois had some ridiculous saves.
An incredible first half. I mean, you look at the first half alone, 4 shots on target, 4 saves. Total in the match, Arsenal hit 11 shots on target, only managed to get 3. So that just shows how well of a game Courtois was having. But at the other end, and I want to ask you about this and talk to you about this. Real Madrid had 3 shots on target. They had 9 total shots. When you have Vinny Jr., Mbappe, Jude Bellingham, Rodrigo, Modric, you can go on and on and on about this team. How impressed were you with Saliba, Timber, Lewis Skelly, and Kiwior?
Kiwior. Yeah, I was just going to talk about this. The offense was exciting. We played so well in the attacking third. I loved how we cut the ball as well. But the thing that impressed me the most in this game was the defensive effort and the defensive stability that we had throughout. Because it never felt, minus one chance that Mbappe got through. I'm not going to lie, some of his quality probably should have put in the back of the net. He didn't. There's your mulligan right there. If that's all it is, great day. And that's exactly what it was. They didn't have any serious dangerous opportunities where I'm like, oh gosh, other than that single one. And that's a huge credit to the Arsenal back line. And I was very nervous about this because if I'm looking at this and I'm Ancelotti, I was going to target that right-hand side. You have an 18-year-old left back and you have Kiwior instead of Gabriel. I would have targeted there all the time.
Was Gabriel injured or was he is hurt?
He's hurt for the year, hamstring.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, he's out for the year. So if I'm Ancelotti, I was going to try to go that way and just try to punish them on that side. But they did phenomenally. Lewis Skelly, the composure he showed and the defensive awareness and ability that he also demonstrated in that game was insane. I did not expect him to be able to do that. Like if I was an 18-year-old playing against Real Madrid and playing against that front 3 or 4 that they have, I would have shit myself. He didn't do that. He was phenomenal. And then Kiwior, really good game. About as good as I've ever seen him play. Yeah. Saliba did his thing. Timber did his thing. It was phenomenal from the back line. And when he needed to, Raya made the save as well. So, I mean, that game went literally as perfectly as it could have. It really did. I mean, a 4th would have been great because I think that really would have put it out of reach because it by no means is out of reach. Going to the Bernabeu with a 3-goal advantage is great, but they have the kind of team that could easily score 3 on you. But it went about as perfect as it could.
And I saw you put you and I were texting a little bit in our Vendetta Slack about it. And you say, oh yeah, we need one more. And sure enough, because I mean 2-0 going to the Bernabeu, I wouldn't the odds that much, honestly. It's just a hard place to play, and the way Real Madrid turns it on in the Champions League, we've talked about time and time again. You text that, and within probably 2 minutes, Marino
with the beautiful finish.
Words are bad today.
Yeah, it's one of those days. It's all good.
It is, but yeah. So, hey, maybe you predicted it. I did miss that Camavinga got a red card at the end.
At the very end, yeah.
Do you think that – I mean, so he'll be out for the next one. I don't think that'll be the end of the world.
No, it made no difference because he was already going to miss for a yellow card suspension.
No, that's true.
And it was
maybe he would just fuck it.
it literally made no difference. You know, it was kind of just the cherry on top of the Real Madrid frustration. But looking to this next game made no difference because he was already on a yellow and there was about like 90 seconds left. So
Yeah.
no difference.
While majority of people were watching that Arsenal Real Madrid game, I want to talk on the Inter Milan and Bayern Munich.
Ooh.
Yeah. Not Luis Martinez. Lautaro Martinez got the first goal for Inter. Thomas Mueller in the 85th minute equalizes it. And then 3 minutes later, David Fratesti gets the winner for Inter Milan at Bayern Munich. The sub that came on for Henrik Mkhitaryan, former Man U and Arsenal. He was Arsenal, wasn't he, as well?
Yeah, it was, yeah.
Man U and Arsenal player comes on, gets a goal to win it, and that's a big win. Now you get to go back to the San Siro with a lead over a team like Bayern Munich that has just been dangerous.
Mm-hmm. To go on the road and win like that is massive because the San Siro is about as hard of a place to play for an opposing team in the world as you'll ever find, right? So to have that advantage going into that is massive. And, I mean, they did their thing this game. The Lautaro finish was unbelievable. Outside the right foot, top bins. Are you kidding me with that?
I mean, I'll talk on the goal in a second of that. I think was probably goal of the week of the Champions League this week. But, I mean, between that one, the Declan Rice goals, a couple others on the Wednesday, there were some bangers this week, and I can't wait for next week's action.
Yeah. But no, Inter is good. I don't think they were getting enough credit heading into that game, right? Because I feel like everyone forgets about Italy, but they are on top of Serie A right now.
Yeah, out of nowhere. It seemed like it was Napoli kind of leading the way all season.
Mm-hmm. They were.
And suddenly Inter's just hopped up there. They've won what? They haven't lost a match since February 16th.
Yeah.
And I think that was the league, I'm pretty sure, wasn't it? Yeah. Yeah, that was league play. And that was coming after – that was their second loss in 3 matches. So since then, they've been on a tear. They're beating everybody except for a couple of draws.
Yeah.
But they're looking like one of the best teams in Europe at the moment, if not the world. And they proved it again on Tuesday.
Mm-hmm. No, they're good, bro. They are very good. I don't think we give Italy enough credit, except for people love to give Juve credit back in the day. But now it feels like kind of just forget about it. But Inter is friggin' good.
Yeah.
And they showed it this game.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you can't forget that Inter was in the Champions League final, 2 years ago?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that's still a damn good team. Moving on to Wednesday's matches, and we'll start with the Premier League team. Aston Villa went to PSG. This is one we were kind of hinting at earlier. It did not – it got off to a great start. Morgan Rogers continues to be hot. Goal in the 35th minute to give him the lead. But then this was the goal I was talking about. Desiree Doué, 19 years old, born in 2005, which is crazy concept.
Yeah.
Curls this ball. He takes it in from the left side of the box to the right, curls it, top corner, nothing. And I mean nothing that Emiliano Martinez could do about it at all. Levels it up. PSG goes on.
Kvaratskhelia. Yeah, that's tough, dude.
Dude, sometimes I have them good with names. Sometimes it's just not my day. Today's one of those days. But, yeah, gets a goal to make it 2-1. And that was like another one that kind of hit near post, just went top corner. Nothing to do about it. And then Nuno Mendes closed it out to make it 3-1. For Aston Villa, from their side of things, we'll start there. Is this okay to lose 3-1 away to PSG?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, it's not.
I mean, obviously, you don't want to be down 2 goals, right? But
you think it's the end of the world?
No, I think that's a better way to phrase it. I don't think it's the end of the world because I think they could very easily win by 2 goals at Villa Park. I don't think they will because I still think PSG is the best team in the world right now. But, I mean, it's not the end of the world, especially considering the fact that PSG dominated this game and deserved more than what they got. 29 shots, 10 on target. They had more than 3/4 of the possession. So, I mean, when it was 2-1, that was a phenomenal result if they could have walked out with that because they were getting dominated and they still were only going to be down 1 goal. The Nuno Mendes finish at the very end kind of made things – it changed the dynamic a little bit because now you're down 2 goals. It's a lot tougher. But I'd say based on how that game went and how good PSG is, especially in Paris, I don't think this is the end of the world. It's not great considering you were 2-1 in the final few minutes. If you could have held on to that, that would have been great. But it's not the end of the world, right? They still have the talent. They still have the manpower to definitely win that 2-0, but it's going to be tough. And I don't expect it to happen, but we've seen crazier things happen. We saw Roma come back that one time.
We've seen PSG come back.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of teams that can come back, and I guess this is against PSG now, so the irony of that would be pretty funny.
Yeah.
Anything's possible in the Champions League.
Oh, yeah.
The only thing that I don't think is possible in this year's Champions League quarterfinals is I don't think Borussia Dortmund comes back from 4-0 down to Barcelona.
No, that's that.
Not because they can't, but it's one that is such a big deficit, and the way Barcelona just dominated every aspect. 60-40% possession, 10-3 shots on target. Everything they dominated. Rafinha gets a goal. Again, Lewandowski gets a brace. Lamine Yamal gets a goal. This was just pure class from Barcelona, and they're looking like they're ready to make another run back at the title.
Mm-hmm. And I'll say this. I said earlier that PSG is the best team in Europe. I think Barca might be second right now.
I agree.
The way they were playing in the league and Champions League is insane. And if you watch this game, it wasn't just like they had more possession, weren't doing anything with it, all that. They were flowing offensively, right? Flowing. Like what they were creating was, I mean, the passing patterns that they had going on, the movement, the individual quality, all of it was just world class that game. Like it was a joy to watch. Like it really was.
And as good as PSG has been, I think they're still unbeaten in Ligue 1 this season. Mm-hmm. Barcelona hasn't lost in 2025.
Mm-hmm.
Their last loss came December 21st, a 2-1 home loss to Atletico Madrid. Since then, they've won all but, I think, 3, maybe 4 games, which have all been draws otherwise. Mm-hmm. They're winning comfortably, like 4-2 against Atletico Madrid. Ultimately was 5-4 on aggregate in one of the tournaments. Mm-hmm. After that 4-all thriller. Beat Real Madrid, I believe, 5-2. So it's just been – they've been on tear, and it's just a team that you don't want to play. And as it stands, it'd be Barcelona, Inter Milan, and Arsenal PSG semifinals.
Yeah, it's still a lot to happen, though. I think
we'll still have a whole nother leg. Yeah. As we said,
three of them are going to be must-watch TV next Tuesday and Wednesday.
Well, yes.
Like must-watch TV.
Yep. Moving to some, I guess, not must-watch TV. We're going to get into this Premier League weekend, and it's tough, like I said.
Mm-hmm.
We're only going to touch on really 2 games. We'll start with our match of the week. Newcastle hosting Man United, and the only reason this is match of the week is because we decided these 2 teams have big enough of names that why not?
Yeah, that's it.
Well, I don't know where this goes. Newcastle has been the better team all season long. Man U winless in their last 2. They did get the draw with Man City, so maybe that's a boost, but they look terrible doing so. Newcastle, when they played in the first match, won 2-0 at Old Trafford. It was Alexander Isak and Joe Linton who got on the board 4 minutes and then 19 minutes in. I think that's what Man U needs to do. They can't go down 2-0 after 20 minutes. That's the biggest thing.
That would help, yeah.
But it's like their defense is just so unreliable. I mean, I still trust Isak, Harrison Barnes, Sandro Tonali, Joe Linton in that midfield have been playing superb this year. And
you say Harrison Barnes. That's the nugget in you right there.
Harvey Barnes, not
there
Harrison.
It is. You just said Harrison Barnes. I caught that.
I don't even think Harrison Barnes was ever a Nugget.
Was he not? I thought. Oh, I could be completely off base.
He's on the Warriors and the Kings. I know.
I just thought of Ty Lawson and got them mixed up. To be honest, it's a North Carolina thing.
Yeah. No, Harrison Barnes helped the Nuggets the other night, hitting a buzzer beater 3 to beat the Warriors for the Spurs.
There you go. Yeah, no, he was never a Nugget. Yeah, I got Ty Lawson.
That Nuggets team was so much fun. The Ty Lawson, Gallo, Fareed. They finished top of the West and then sold in the playoffs every year in the first round. But
still fun.
It'll happen. It was a good time. But Harvey Barnes, not Harrison Barnes. Harrison Barnes would be a damn good corner kick specialist. Not taking him, but you put him at the receiving end of one, see who can jump with him.
Oh, yeah, he'd get up there.
But no. Harvey Barnes, Isak, Joe Linton, Sandro Tonali, God, now my game's off. This Newcastle team has just been so good going forward recently. Man U, defensively. Yeah, I think that's about a good enough way I can sum it up. So, and it sounds like Harry Maguire could possibly be starting, which that's never the most exciting thing for anybody.
Yeah.
What is your thoughts on this one?
I'm feeling Newcastle through and through. Their defense still, I know they got the 0-0 clean sheet against City, right? Which is very, very solid on that front, right? But City just was miserable that game. It's a derby game. I'm not going to put much stock into it. I don't think their defense is going to show up in this game. I think Newcastle is going to be able to punish them. I expect Isak to be able to punish them. I'm going 2-0. I'm going to go with the same exact score as the first game that they had this season. I'm feeling confident about that. Don't like them going forward, minus Bruno Fernandes, sometimes having a moment of brilliance. And I feel like that's going to be easily neutralized by Newcastle's back line. I go, 2-0 Newcastle. They complete their first league double over Manchester United since 1930-31.
I think another thing that I haven't looked into enough or thought about nearly as much until right now is Man U's playing at the moment on Thursday against Lyon. In Lyon, it's 1-1 at the moment. Tottenham is the other Premier League team playing there, 1-1 home to Frankfurt. But this Man U game is what? Sunday, I believe? Yeah. Yeah, Sunday. So they do get an extra day, but 3 days rest compared to a week's rest. Give me Newcastle. Give me them. I like the 2-0 shot. I'm going to go 3-1. I think Man U scored a goal. I'm just going to change it up a bit. Same deficit, but
might as well.
I think it's going to be pretty straightforward for Newcastle.
Yeah.
The only other game we could find of note, and this is because both teams are right on the cusp of Champions League, or not even Champions League, European football. Fulham and Bournemouth. Bournemouth is at home. Fulham is going down there. But Fulham sits in 8th at 48 points. The top 5, fifth place is 53. Top 5 are Champions League bound. Man City is at 52 in 6th place. Aston Villa 51 in 7th, and Fulham 3 points behind them. But Man City likely will win the FA Cup, so that'll mean there's an extra bid to Europe. There's a real chance that Chelsea, who's already in the Champions League, will win the Conference League. I don't know if Man U or Tottenham will win the Europa League, but it's possible, I guess. But if Chelsea wins the Conference League and Man City wins the FA Cup, that gives 2 extra spots. So it'd be 6. I think it'd be 7, 8, 9 would all go. Yeah. As it stands, Bournemouth is sitting in 10th place with 45 points, 2 points back of Brighton, 3 points back of Fulham. This is a big one for the hopes of European football for both teams. I don't know what to expect. Bournemouth has looked rough as of late. They're winless in their last 5, pair of draws, 3 losses. Fulham, on the other hand, has 2 wins in their last 4, but those losses have also been at home to Palace and away to Arsenal. But they did beat Liverpool, which was a big win, beat Tottenham. What are you expecting in this one, and what players maybe are you expecting to stand out?
I don't know. I'm going to be completely honest. I don't know. I could see it going either way. I would say Bournemouth, right? But they've just been so bad recently and have fallen off the pace. It's hard to say Fulham because you look at their recent results and it's, right, win, loss, win, loss. I know they've been playing good teams, but Bournemouth is also a good team. Plus, you got to travel all the way down there. I don't know. So I'm going to go 1-1 because I genuinely don't know what's going to happen in this game. I don't have a strong feeling either way. I'm going to go 1-1. In terms of players that I expect to stand out, it's hard to go with anyone but Raul Jimenez, right?
Yeah.
I think he might be the difference maker to get them the equalizer. I'm going to say Bournemouth looks like the better team, maybe more possession, maybe more chances. But I think Raul Jimenez plays a key part, whether it's a goal or setting up the goal with this hold-up play and then distribution. I think that'll be what gets them the point, which was a huge point if they can get it because Bournemouth is a good team on the road. I think that's what's going to
happen. I agree with you in the fact that this is going to be a very close game. I'm thinking the difference is going to come from the wings of Fulham, whether it's Ferguson or Iwobi who tend to start. or even Adama Traore coming on off the bench. Like he's had little bits of moments of class this season. I think this could be one of those games that fits him perfectly to come on in the 60th, 70th minute, run rampant, and getting a cross in. Iwobi or any of those guys get the ball into either Pereira or, as you said, Rodrigo Muniz up top.
Rodrigo Muniz, yeah.
That I'm leaning Fulham. I think it could be. I'm going to go 2-1 Fulham. I think they just have enough attacking class. Not that Evan Nelson and the rest of the company for Bournemouth aren't great, but I just feel like there's more clinicality to this Fulham side, and I think that could be the difference maker. Brand Leno looked pretty good against Liverpool. Gave up the 2 goals, but I mean, it's Liverpool. We kind of expected them to score a lot more.
Yeah.
And I think that's going to be a big confidence boost. You get that done at home. You now go on the road. It is on the road, but you go with that confidence knowing, okay, we just beat the league leaders. We get this win. We're one step closer to Europe. I like Fulham, and I think they'll get it done.
Fair.
Any other games you really want to dive in depth with or just hop into some predictions?
Let's just hop into the predictions, man. That's just such a boring week.
Yeah, and I have a feeling I know where majority of yours are going, and I have a feeling it's going to be similar for me. We'll start with Man City and Crystal Palace. I'll let you go first.
I'm going to go City in this one. At home, coming off of a very disappointing showing against their arch rivals. They're going to need something to go their way. Palace has been very impressive, don't get me wrong, but City's got the class on them. They've got the quality. I'm giving it to City. I'm going to go 2-1. I do think they concede a goal, but I think they've got enough about them that they do get this done. But it's not going to be easy by any stretch of the imagination. This Palace team's very good.
Yeah, I'm going 1-0 Man City. I think they do struggle. I think it'll be a kind of like that early second half goal, 60th minute or so. But I just think that at the end of the day, Man City's a little too good for a team like Crystal Palace.
Yeah.
The team who could benefit from a 1-1 draw, like you predicted in that Fulham and Bournemouth game, is Brighton, who sits in between them with 47 points. They're hosting Leicester City, who, like we said, not looking good. I'm taking Brighton. I think they win at 2-0. Leicester cannot score to save their lives. I honestly might even take it 3-0 the way they've been looking. It's just been bad after bad after bad. Haven't scored a goal in over 2 months now.
Yeah.
Give me Brighton and give me a shutout, 3-0.
I'm doing the exact same thing for the exact same reasons. Leicester has been horrendous. Brighton's been fairly good. They're still playing for something. I think they kick ass 3-0.
I will say Brighton hasn't won in their last 4, but that's against – they drew with Forest, lost on penalties in the Cup, drew with Man City, lost to Villa, and lost to Palace. So not the worst losses in the league, but just had to put that one out there. I'm still taking them. But Forest hosting Everton, I'll let you go.
I got to go Forest. I will say Everton does love their draws. So if it isn't Forest, I'm going a 1-1 draw. But I have to pick Forest, right? They need this after losing 2-1 to Villa. They're still in third place, but it is very tight, you know. They're only 4 points ahead of fourth place right now. And Newcastle, I just realized this has a game in hand. They're playing midweek. They can get to within 1 point of them. So they need to make sure they take care of business and get that win. I think they do. I don't think by any means it's an easy game, but I do think they win. I'm going to go 2-0. I think they do keep a clean sheet in this game.
I like that shout. I am taking Forest for a little bit of a different reason. Everton are 17th in the league playing away from home. They only have 3 wins all season. Meanwhile, Forest at home only have 2, lost twice. Give me Forest. Give me them 2-0. I think they're just the better side and going to need to get back in winning ways after this past weekend.
Yeah.
Okay. Southampton and Aston Villa. And before you say anything, Aston Villa lost this week, but also won on the weekend. Do they get by Southampton?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
I don't care who they put out there. They can put in the U23s for all I care. They're winning this game.
Yep. Comfortably?
Comfortably. Give me 3.
I like it. Yeah, I'm going 3-1. So I think it's easy. Arsenal-Brentford, London matchup. I'm taking Arsenal. I'm taking them 2-1. We got no real reasoning behind it. Brentford haven't looked great at times. I just think Arsenal are looking better and better each week.
Mhm.
Now that Stock and Co are all healthy.
I'm going to go 2-1 as well, but I think it's a very rough game. I think Brentford can easily win it because of just when the game is happening in between, the two legs against Madrid. That could play a part. I think Arsenal has enough to win this. I'm going to go 2-1, but I think it's a very tight game. Brentford has chances. It doesn't look great, but I'm going to back the boys 2-1.
The other relegation trending side, Ipswich go to Chelsea. I got to take Chelsea. I don't know what the score is, but I just have a feeling they'll get it done. And they won 3-0 against Legia Warsaw today in the Conference League. They're looking good. There we have it.
Yeah, 3-1.
I like it. Liverpool hosting West Ham. This one's actually a little exciting. Could be. If it was a few years ago, it'd be more exciting, but the West Ham just seems like a team that could cause an upset. Do you think they will?
I'm much more pessimistic. No, I have not been impressed with West Ham at all this season. I think going up against the best team in the league, they're going to get their clocks clean, to be completely honest. I think it's 2-0, but it should be a lot worse. 2-0, 1 goal first half, 1 goal second half, but should be more.
That's very understandable. And West Ham's one of those teams that after all the summer transfers they made, we were a lot higher on, and it looked worse and worse as the season's gone on. Liverpool lost last week. They're going to be angry. Give me 3-0. I think they do better West Ham. At home as well. So Wolves and Tottenham. Two teams just enough away from the relegation zone to most likely be safe for this season. Who do you got here?
I promise I'm not just being a hater, but I'm feeling Wolves in this game. At home, I just have that feeling that Wolves is going to get this one done 2-1. Tottenham has been so miserable all season. I feel like Wolves, I don't want to say they've turned a corner, but I have more faith in them getting results now than I did early on the season. I'm going 2-1. I think they get a sneaky win here.
I see both teams scoring, but I don't see either team scoring more than the other. I'm taking this 1-1. Both teams are just so sub-mid. I wouldn't even say they're mid at this point. They're like a little below that.
I like that.
But I just don't see either team winning. This is one that's going to be ugly. Not going to be many chances, but both teams will take advantage of one. And I have it finishing 1-1.
Yeah, that's fair.
Especially after Tottenham just drew 1-1 at home to Frankfurt in the Europa League. Not pretty, but there we have it. Jackson, any final thoughts, questions, words of wisdom before we wrap this thing up?
Let's get it done in the Bernabeu next week, and we'll all have a great week. I think anyone who's not a Madrid fan wants this to happen. So,
all right. Leeds won this week. Arsenal won this week.
Go.
Tuesday was a good day for us both.
Great day.
Here we go. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure you click that subscribe button, and we will see y'all next week.